Greetings, Starcraft 2 fans. Negative Space here with another 2 vs 2 commentary featuring myself as Negative Space, my brother, my Protoss player Paladin as my brother, Miryi as opponent 1, and Ihan opponent 2, which is Terran and Zerg. As we always like to reiterate once the game starts so that we don't forget. And my brother doesn't usually play Protoss. He likes Protoss, but he has a hard time with most of their units, so we just pretty much like to go air if he's playing Protoss. And that's what we're kind of talking about, is it's probably hard to not give away that you're going air. You can go air, as it is most likely that a player is not going to be running units around up in these areas, but you know, we're just kind of discussing the matter is all. And a few things really quick here is, if anyone noticed, I hope everybody enjoyed my previous replay. My previous cast before this, I uploaded it a lot higher quality, but for some reason the sound got out of sync and it cut off some not very important things at the very end, but it cut off some nonetheless, which I don't understand why. And another thing I've noticed is that the preview pictures and the thumbnails, it looks like the colors are all weird, and I'm not sure why that is either. But this game is getting underway here already very quickly, as you've noticed. This player has put an engineering bay up here, scouted with an SCV over here in a very odd pattern, and look at this, he loaded up his command center and is flying it away. So I think most of you can probably already figure out what this is, as he has just enough resources to turn this into a planetary fortress. This player went 10 pool, built the spawning pool once he had 10 supply, and after that is going for mostly Zerglings. Now if you watched the production tab, he actually does get out some drones, which I don't understand why, because if he hadn't of, he could have got, if you're going to go all in like this, there's no point in making drones after that. I'm not sure, you know, there's no way to know how much these players communicated, but there's definitely no point in building drones. That could be 2 more Zerglings, and this whole game he could have got maybe 6 or 8 more Zerglings to harass and rush with. So he's already trying to land this command center somewhere without really having any scouting inside the base yet. But the way they go about this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe, I'm not sure, I've heard of the strategy, but I have no idea how viable it really is, because it's definitely not as good against my brother and I, who always get an early army. Look at this, I already have 4 Marines, and if this player had gotten a few more Zerglings, it probably would have been a lot better, but there's no reason for him to have gone after the probes instead of the more threatening units. The probes aren't really going to threaten a command center a whole lot. He dropped off his SCVs over here instead of sticking around to be able to repair, and he can only repair like 18 hit points of it anyway, and so he didn't really plan this ahead a whole lot at all. His SCVs just died to these zealots, which the Zerglings didn't help to weaken our army at all, and we just take that down just as soon as it comes up. He even comes in with a drone, I'm not sure why. First, nobody's really sure why, but they leave because he used his first command center to be able to rush with that, and it just didn't work at all. I don't know if maybe it would have been better if they'd happened against an opponent which did not go early army, but these are some of the reasons why in 2 vs 2 pretty much always get an early army, because you never know if it's a Terran player, if he's going 3 or 4 racks with stammered Marines, that can be extremely hard to be able to defend against. A Zerg player can just go all in Zerglings and if he catches me off guard when it's early and I only have one Marine out, it's just pretty much downhill for a Terran player after that, unless we get pretty lucky in being able to fend it off. So maybe it was a little bit unlucky matchup for them, as we had an early army, or maybe he just could have tried a slightly separate route and made an extra command center, tried to hide it somewhere, and then lift off. If he had done that, he would still have had enough resources gathering to be able to repair it, and it would have given his ally more time to mass up Zerglings. Because another dangerous thing is not even necessarily going in with your first 6 or 8 Zerglings, but to get up somewhere maybe around 12 or 18 and then going in. And if they had done that, you know, maybe, obviously this is probably a random team, so maybe they couldn't have planned ahead, but this player might have known to be able to adapt his strategy to this player's strategy, since he was trying that, and maybe been able to pull something off a little easier than they had. If they had caught me off guard just enough, or my ally off guard just enough to be able to land the command center and to start upgrading it, if the Zerg player distracted my army long enough to be able to do that, and then have a fortified position to be able to continue rushing in from, maybe it would have turned out slightly different. The only difference is that if we had rushed him, he hit his engineering base, so if we rushed him, we wouldn't be able to take out the engineering bay before he could start upgrading his command center, wherever he decides to send the command center. I wanted to cast this, and my brother wanted me to cast it as well, just because it was a goofy game, and I wanted to cast it because I'm wondering if there's a better way this could have been pulled off. If somehow trying, like I had discussed, possibly trying it that way might have been a little more viable, a little more successful, other than just trying to catch the opponent off guard and trying to get lucky. So anyways, I wanted to cast this really quick because I wanted to cast a quick game, even though I actually talked a while after, so I hope you've stuck around. If you know anything about uploading or recording, anything like that, it'd be nice to get anyone's help or tips out there with some of the tweaks I'm working on. That's interesting. There's actually slightly different art for different pylons. I've never noticed that. But thank you for watching. Hope you like it. I'll be getting some better games up here soon. It's just when you're trying to upload and they're having errors every time you try to upload them. I tried to upload the previous cast a lot, like pretty much for several days, to try to get them all to upload. So I hope you enjoy them, and hope you're looking forward to more, because I'll be casting more. Thanks, bye.